Man, you're right, Josh. I mean, last week you said I shouldn't be that down on my team there. Just give it a little bit of time. They'll come back around. Are you okay over there?
Still got that brown paper bag.
Oh, I do, buddy. I do.
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to this episode of the Trajan Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler and Kansas City Chiefs fanatic, Christian Temple. Joined side, as always, the terrible towel twirling Trajan, although he seemed to have forgotten his terrible towel. I, I don't know why. I don't know why he wouldn't be just rubbing this in my face right now. Honestly, just rubbing it all in, smudging it in with that towel of his. But nonetheless, we are here. We're back again. Week 5 is in the books. Some fun stuff, some not so fun stuff, some really life changing and league-shattering stuff going on this week in the NFL world, but we will start off on the down note, and I'm speaking for myself, unfortunately, with this week's episode of I Don't Want to Talk About It. So, I guess let's talk about it. Here we are. The Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Buffalo Bills at Arrowhead by a final score of 38-20. And I'm going to change it up a little bit this week. I'll let you guys in a little bit. So normally I have the page pulled up too, and we're talking into the background. But now I'm just going to have it up for a split second, and you'll get to see our faces for a little bit. Let us know in the comments how you like this new format. We'll adjust as we go along. But going back to depression, that was very depressing watching that game Sunday night on prime time. I've seen it on social media all week. They're all putting it on the defense. Fans is like, it's the defense. It's on the defense. But the one thing I posted when I was very, very upset on Facebook before I went to bed that night, I said, the defense is not the only problem. Good night. That was my singular post before I went to bed. And the more I've thought about it, the more I don't disagree with myself. There were times where the defense made great stops. You know, that turnover off the special teams return by Byron Pringle, the defense knocked them out of field goal range. They kept points off the board for the Bills after having pristine field position after that turnover. But what does the offense do? They sputter and they don't get anything done. Going down, I'm just looking off the screen. I'm not going to flip it up like I normally do here too. Patrick Mahomes. Hold on here. Patrick Mahomes, not his best night, and probably arguably one of his worst nights. 33 out of 54 for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, QBR of 74.3. He was the leading rusher Sunday night, which was surprising to me. I did not know that, but then I remembered he had that 25-yard scramble that got him into field goal range, although they didn't do very much with it after the fact. Darrell Williams was the second leading rusher. Tyreek Hill, third. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I will say, of course, we're going to miss him. He was just placed on IR yet as of yesterday. So it was an MCL, I think, sprain. I don't think it was a tear, but it was something to do with his MCL. So he will be out for several weeks now, which led to them upgrading Derek Gore from the practice squad. There were talks about Marlon Mack being a trade candidate before the deadline, so that could be interesting. But obviously I have to bring up how the defense was this week. I keep seeing this picture floating around, and it's multiple angles, but it's Tyrann Mathieu with his arms out like this as Daniel Sorensen and Charvarius Ward and various others are getting burned. And, you know, I feel like I have to eat my words on the sole fact that I knew our defensive linemen were not great. Our linebackers were mediocre at best. Our front seven wasn't that strong. I had always given credit to the back four with Tyrann Mathieu, Daniel Sorensen, L'Jarius Sneed, Juan Thornhill, all those guys. I always gave them credit because it seemed like when we needed a big play on defense, it didn't come from a sack or from a strip sack or something like that. It usually came in the form of an interception, but that didn't happen this week. Josh Allen, all credit in the world. Josh Allen is phenomenal. He was phenomenal last year. He is really looking, his stock has risen since last year, and there was a lot of speculation that he would drop off after last year, that last year would have been his peak, but no, he has shown no signs of slowing down, and there's a reason I have the Buffalo Bills as my prediction as the AFC contender for Super Bowl this year, because they are that damn good. They are the most well-rounded team in the AFC, and I'm sure you would probably agree with me on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we got the fact that even the Steelers could beat the Bills. You got just a team that's loaded with talent there. He always can air it out. He has a huge arm. I mean, really, when you look at comparisons between Mahomes and Josh Allen, they're a lot alike. They're elusive. They can get that extra yard scrambling. They can throw those balls that most people can't. So they're loaded with talent. They have a better defense, and just the better team won today. Maybe not in the future, but you never know.
So you bring up the better team won today, and that was the deal last year too. The Chiefs did the exact same thing the Bills did. They went to Bills Stadium in Buffalo and took care of business, and that ended up being a precursor to the AFC Championship this year. But if the Chiefs don't make adjustments now, that's going to be a tough road to get back. Not even just the Super Bowl, but the AFC Championship in general. But like I said, the next week will be a great week to bounce back. You're gonna give embarrassing losses no matter how great you are. I mean, ask Tom Brady. He's had games I'm sure he would want to have back and not be humiliated like that. So you just Mahomes put it best. You got to take it on the chin and just learn from it and move on to next week. It's a long season, so you can't dwell on it for forever, no matter how much the fans want to do so. But on to some happier news, I guess, if you want to say that, in the Steeler Nation. The Pittsburgh Steelers are victorious, and I'm actually kind of happy about this one because they took down the newly exposed Denver Broncos by a final score of 27-19.
Exactly. I mean, it was a great day, and at least the Raiders and Denver lost. So you're not the only one who lost. It was great. It started out good for us. Just like last week, Big Ben throws a bomb to Deontay Johnson, 50-yard touchdown. I'm yelling. My little girl's yelling black and yellow. It's a great day in the Steelers household. And then it just continued. I was kind of a little worried. Josh texts me, man, this is starting out awfully similar to the last game. I'm like, you need to shut up right now. But no, it consistently Najee Harris. I mean, that Najee and Chase Claypool are probably the biggest stories to come out of this week. Najee opened it up. He made it, instead of these 3rd and 10s, these 3rd and 2s, where, hey, we can either run the ball, we can throw the ball. It opened up a whole lot more options. Our offensive line played phenomenal. They only let one sack go. Granted, that sack was a strip sack there. Not much you can do. He got hit from behind. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. But yeah, no. I mean, it was a great day. Chase Claypool, like I said, 5 receptions, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 targets. So he only had 1 drop. Najee Harris, 23 carries, 122 yards.
His first 100-yard rushing game.
Yep, his first 100-yard rushing game. And, and I will add that he did more yards than the vaunted Ravens rushing team did against last week. So, maybe he's better than Lamar and all their running backs combined. But who knows?
I suppose the case can be made for that.
Yep. Or, I mean, Denver's just trash, and they only played losing record teams, and they finally faced someone formidable.
Maybe they were exposed as frauds after all.
I'm going to lean that they're a really good team and we beat a really good team.
Oh,
That's what I'm going to go
the,
towards.
the the modesty and the humbleness of you, sir, is uncanny.
I want to give credit to where credit's due, But on defensive side, we played very well. Towards the end there, we did give up some points there. They made it close. They were actually driving in the fourth quarter, right towards the end. They were within the 10-yard line there, about to score. They would need to score and get the 2-point conversion to tie it. We held them all four downs. The last one we got an interception on. So, big plays when we needed them. Everyone kind of stepped up, and it showed really a good balance. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, we're all talking about the offense doing good. I mean, it was a mediocre game if you all look through it there, but it was a good game. It was complimentary football, and I would love to see more of it.
At least one AFC North team didn't completely blow a lead against an AFC West team. Same could not be said for the Cleveland Browns this week, as your poor brother found out.
Oh my gosh, I was so happy in that. I was like, well, Browns are winning and they're gonna win. And then all of a sudden I check later on, I'm like, oh shit.
What happened?
Yeah. I mean, no, you guys definitely got some competition there. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's almost like our divisions are kind of similar there.
It's so
You got
interesting.
these
The similarities
plays.
are just uncanny between the two of them. It's you mentioned it a
Oh
few
yeah.
times too, and you might be right. It seems like the Chiefs and the Steelers' fates are really tied together, and it'll be really hilarious. Come oh, was it week fifth? Is it week 15? I believe.
It's either week 15 or week 16.
I think it's 15 because there was 2 more weeks after that. When that comes, if both teams are A, playing for a playoff spot, or B, have the exact same record at that time, because it seems like it's heading that direction as the weeks go by.
Oh, I'm excited about it. I'm hoping, both of our teams can turn it around. We take our divisions, like we usually do. But no, there's so much parity in the league. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you take out the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Jets and those teams. I mean, they're getting there. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's not an easy win by any means. The
Nope.
Titans figured that out. Every week you could lose, and
Any given
you got to
Sunday.
bring your yeah, you got to bring your A game.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we mentioned earlier that there was huge breaking news. My goodness, this breakage was worse than a freaking level 5 tsunami or a category 5 hurricane or a
Oh yeah.
8.2 magnitude earthquake. For goodness sakes, it was recently discovered in a 2011 email to NFL Players Association executive director rather, Damaris Smith. The now former Las Vegas Raiders coach John Gruden used a racial trope, which later was also discovered to be a very homophobic trope in some emails describing the situation during an investigation, rather, of the Washington football team. All of the shenanigans that have been going on there too. So obviously a very serious situation here. Some quotes from the email here from Gruden. Beginning quote: "Dumb Boris Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires." Um, Obviously, that was one of the things that was very much scrutinized and ultimately
Yeah.
led to him resigning from his job here too. Gruden obviously showing resentment towards himself for saying that. Another quote from him: "I was upset. I used a horrible way of explaining it. He does. I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's a liar. I don't have a racial bone in my body, and I've proven that for 58 years." End quote. Um, a lot of people have had their opinions on this situation stemming from 10 years ago. From players to coaches to even former colleagues of his. It's
Oh yeah.
this is a very unique situation from something that's happened several years ago.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, it's kind of interesting because he was kind of the golden guy for the NFL for so long. I mean, he was a young guy when he first got into the league. They won a Super Bowl, of course, with Tampa Bay. He exits. He's on Monday Night Football for a while, and that's when these emails happened. And he comes back to the Raiders, um, and really becomes the face of the franchise there. I mean, it's very unfortunate that he used those words, and I mean, I get it. He was frustrated. I mean, but at the same time, you gotta be smarter than that. You gotta know what you're saying isn't right. But no, I mean, it's hard for us to talk about it because I mean, we don't face those same persecutions. We're fairly lucky in that, and so I mean, we'll never really understand what those words really mean to the people that it affects. So it is difficult, but unfortunately, he has to be held accountable. And unfortunately, he did it himself. He resigned, and he goes on and figures some things out for this.
Absolutely. So brought up some, like I said, some players, former players and coaches had their own opinions about the situation. One of them I found too, not too long ago, from former NFL wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson. Very interesting quote here. He's just always been a fraud to me from day one. He's always been a used car salesman. End quote. Speaking from experience as a used car salesman, I do take a little offense to that, but I can understand the feelings he has towards that situation. But I had to bring up that quote, honestly, just because of, for obvious reasons.
Why do people always come at us? We're not all the same.
I mean, he could have said a lawyer. I mean, he could
A
have said
politician.
a politician, something like that. No, you gotta punch down. You gotta punch at the used car salesman. Jeez. Another interesting quote here too, and I'll pull this up here too, is from one Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers expressing his opinion, saying there is no place in the game for what John Gruden said, going so far as to say we need to allow people to grow and change, but those opinions don't have a place in the game. I know that there's options similar to that, but I feel they're few and far between. The player and the coach of today is more empathetic, advanced, progressive, loving, connected type of a person. I'm proud of the kind of locker room that we have. Of course, him referring to the Green Bay Packers, end quote. It's rocked the league. These allegations, or not allegations, excuse me, the emails that have come out. So much so that I mean, just where do we go from here? Because now they're going to start really digging deeper into the past of executives, players, coaches, and I've got a bad feeling, honestly, I have a bad feeling it's going to escalate from here to other members of the league, and it may just be it may just be a misunderstanding, as simple as that. But obviously, Gruden's words, it's pretty hard to misconstrue that as a misunderstanding.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's listed all there. It's not like you could say, "Oh, he took me wrong" or something that I said. You can't really do that. Plus, I mean, the NFL's they have more emails, and so I mean, who knows what else is in there? I mean, maybe they just released this, kind of showing what he did. Maybe there's more derogatory stuff. I mean, we don't know the full story here, so it'll be interesting as time goes on. But yeah, no, I definitely think it's going to be something that tests the National Football League going forward. Hopefully, they can respond to that test. I mean, we both love this game. We both love watching it every day. I mean, it'd be a shame for something like this to bring it down when I mean, we're all people here.
Absolutely. So, and you brought up a good point there too. There's going to be more coming out too, because the Players Association is going to petition the NFL to release all of the emails regarding the Washington football team investigation. And obviously, the culture is not damn good in Snyderland. I don't even remember who said that. It was whoever the interim coach was before Riverboat Ron set up shop there. That was a dumb quote because everyone knew better. I mean, just ask the lineman that went to San Francisco how he was treated and all that, how the culture was there. So we're gonna see how this snowballs from here, but I definitely see a lot more crap falling into Dan Snyder's plate here before too long too, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't think there's any one person out there outside of maybe Snyder's family that believes that he should still be owning the Washington football team as of this moment. But I guess only time will tell if this will blow over for him or if some real change will happen in the organization. So that is our show today. A little bit of a shorter episode this week. Obviously, there's really nothing that's going to overshadow the whole Gruden thing that went down this week. But next week, Kansas City Chiefs have a chance to bounce back on the road against the Washington football team, funny enough. So that is this Sunday at 12 o'clock. Trajan, who do the Steelers have coming up this week?
All right, we have Seattle at Heinz Field. It is Sunday Night Football under the lights. Ben Roethlisberger loves primetime games, so it's going to be a fun one. Of course, we're facing a pretty weak Seahawks right now. It's no Russell Wilson for a little while, so I mean that's unfortunate. I like to see two awesome players go head to head, but I mean we'll take a lucky break while we can right now.
Absolutely. So a rematch of Super Bowl 40, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
One of two Super Bowls in my lifetime. So
there you go. That's
great,
right? Exactly. At least that one of the quarterbacks is still playing for one of those teams. But yep, then Big Ben versus Geno Smith, a marquee matchup for the ages, obviously.
Oh my God, it's so weird to say Geno Smith. I mean,
I know, right?
I fell off the face of the earth.
It's like saying Matt Schaub or Blaine Gabbert at this point. It's like they're still here, they're still alive, or Mike Glennon. It's like how are they still here? But it'll be another test for the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers against the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. So something has got to give. But thank you everybody so much for watching. Click like if you liked the video. Click subscribe if you really enjoyed it. Tell all your friends, and we'll see you next time.